Hey guys, and welcome to a showdown of mighty heroes as Captain Morgan leads the Spirit of the Jungle up against Fisk Grey and his Vampire Count Hordes, a matchup generally considered to be in the Lizardman favour, but a good account player certainly knows how to play this matchup, and this was from this week's Damage Value Challenge, and the mighty competitor, I'm going to zoom in very slowly on so you guys can guess who it is going to be Nakai the Wanderer. Dun dun dun. Generally considered by many to be one of the worst lords in the game, I was there to try to prove that wrong. We challenge you guys there at home to bring Nakai in combat and get as much value as possible, and I must say, we had an insane number of people submit replays with some pretty crazy high scores, and this was the best one. Captain Morgan very good at these weekly challenges. For his army, we have Saurus Warriors with shields dotted all the way through the front line, as well as a Bastildon with solar engine to apply some long-range pressure. Double Salamander hunting packs as well. Big fan of these scaly little doggos. They can do some nice burst damage to some of the larger creatures. Can be hard to protect them with quite a small build, however. We do have some Sacred Groxagor behind one unit, as well as the Star Chamber Guardians behind the other, and Feral Cold One Cavalry. Guys I've been a little bit mean to in the past, so let's give them a little neck rub, just to let them know I don't mean kind of too bad by it. But Feral Cold Ones in general do kind of lack a lot of the punch, as well as staying power of other cavalry units that are in a similar situation. We have King Priest of Heavens up in the skies, Curse, Midnight Wind, and Harmonic Convergence, and that's going to make up the build. Let's actually quickly run over Nakai's abilities. It looks like he's brought them all. Primal Roar is incredibly powerful. 40 melee attack and 22% physical resistance to all allies in range is very good, but the downside, massive downside, is Rampage. We have Miasma Despair as well as the Golden Tributes. So for the forces of the Counts, who are going to be facing across the battlefield from Nakai, we have two Felbats up in the skies, as well as some Vargeist, so a nice little air core so far. Von Karstein, the Vampire Lord, coming in with their version of Tempest, Flock of Doom, Invocation Heck, and Release Dead. We also have a Terrorgeist on the right-hand side. The main battle line is going to be made up of zombies, of course. It's not a Vampire Count build without a load of zombies, and Skeleton Spearmen backing them up, mixed in with some more elite troops in the form of the Sternsmen, Regiment of Renowned Graveguard. Looks like we have a Corpse Card of Unholy Lodestone, the Claw of Nagash, as well as a Foot Necromancer. So looking to grind out the enemy with the ground game and those Mortis effects, and then coming in with the Von Karstein Lord and Terrorgeist up in the skies to apply those nasty breath attacks and burst damage down key targets. Very interested to see how these Salamanders are protected. It's going to be a rough one for them, I think. Solar Engine does beam a shot in, catching the wings there of the Vargeist, doing some nice damage, who do decide to flee back towards friendly territory and juke left and right where possible. Von Karstein Vampire Lord continuing his pursuit around this side. Be good to see some raised deads go down on the Salamanders. Solar Engine does come in, slays a couple of bats by pure burning light, but unfortunately the Vargeists are able to dodge and survive, and in comes the Von Karstein Lord now. Looks like a big breath attack going to come down the line on the Saurus Warriors, doing some lovely work. Lost about a quarter of their health straight out the gate. Salamanders do answer in reply, but again, taking down air forces can be pretty hard. Salamanders only just about clipping the mighty wings of the dragon. Shriek does go down on the Saurus Warriors on the other flank, and you can see the difference here in the powers of the breath attacks, but still, it's some nice free damage. Salamander's army rotating around to apply some pressure onto the Terrorgeist. Did some nice work, but the Solar Engine unfortunately does miss, and the advance of the Undead is getting ever closer. Good juking on the Terrorgeist, bouncing back and forth to avoid the Salamander hunting pack fire. Flying units tend to have a good time up against them, at least as far as dodging is concerned. Big beam shot comes in, whacking those Vargeists. Looks like one of the bad boys has finally gone down. They are getting healed up, though, by some of the ground and Mortis Engine effects. Salamanders continue to unleash hell onto the Von Karstein Lord, and he's now driving through the fire and the flames, taking big burst damage here, down to 5,000 health. And it looks like he's going to be taking some more as well. However, the zombie summon has gone down. Going to be used to clear out the Salamander hunting packs. Sacred Cockscar are bouncing over as well, though, to counter these guys, allow the hunters to get to safety, you would hope, but they seem to be pinned in a little bit too much here by the zombies, and they do have some fell bats to contest with. More Salamanders are having to flee as well from the nasty bats. Looks like the Kai going to be getting his first little bits of value here, pinning a few of the bats and whipping around his gigantic weapon, doing some nice work there as the Saurus Warriors have engaged across the front line. Likewise, the Solar Engine is in the thick of it, although the Vargeist as well as the Dragon Lord, the Vampire Lord, and Death Resurgent Plot are going to come down to try and snipe poor Gary. Nakai, though, going to be bounding into combat, jumping straight on top of that Vampire Lord, trying to do some nice damage. Curse of Midnight Wind has gone down, meaning he's going to fare pretty well here in this engagement. Temple Guard are currently dealing with zombies, a fight they certainly don't want to be in. Salamanders are just about getting saved from the back line. Looks like these feral bats pretty much spent. Sega Crocscore doing a good job on babysitting duty. The Mighty Nakai is in the middle of the thick of it. Curse of Midnight Wind is still currently popped, lowering the stats of all nearby troops. Nakai up to 3 kills, starting to push through, trying to get onto the back of these Var guys who do have an Invocation Hex currently popped on them. Desperately trying to get back here to save his Bastiladon Solar Engine buddy. Looks like instead, though, he decides to carve his way through the rotting flesh of some zombies. Cloth Nagash is well and truly in the fight now, although Nakai going to be driving it back. That Curse of Midnight Wind does last an incredibly long time. So Miasma Despair was down. A Harmonic Convergence come in, up in his melee attack to 84. Certainly going to be able to give the business to the Claw. Down here we do have the Vargulf Summon, an ability you don't get to see terribly often, as well as the Long Cast Iron Vampire Lord trying to hammer down the Star Chamber Guardians, who are good against these targets, but can certainly get overwhelmed by the sheer numbers. Salamander Hunting Pack's doing some really lovely damage, and a lot of the Varguys there fall into their doom. However, the Vampire Lord is here to say hello and what's up. Going to be pouring down on the Hunting Packs, no doubt, in just a few moments. Feral Codwans have been used to pin back zombies. Salamanders are going to be roasting friend and foe alike here. Looks like some more shots going up into the skies. So Crocscore doing a decent job. The greatest earthbenders the world has ever seen are going to be beating down Skeleton Spearmen, although it looks like one of the mighty beasts has indeed fallen, and the Salamanders are now getting feasted upon by that undead lord. Vargeist are being used to hunt down into the back line, although it looks like they're very low. For leadership, they're probably going to get stopped in their tracks by the Salamanders themselves. Okay, the Wanderer is going to be continuing to hunt down the Claw of Nagash, which is really struggling to escape him. Good micro by Captain Morgan here to drag him wide and whip around where possible. Those Saurus Warriors are going to be breaking down. The Star Chamber Guardians not doing a bad job. They have managed to surround the Terrorgeist now, but there are Skeleton Warriors and zombies here to help support them. Say Crocscore, again, doing a good job beating down Skeleton Spearmen. The Skink Priest of Heavens up in the skies are dropping debuffs where possible. Salamanders finish off the last there of those pesky Vargeist. Do manage to rally themselves as well. Up to 39 kills on these doggos. Going to be looking to try to rain some more firepower in on the Von Carstein Vampire Lord as he comes in for the kill. 2 units have been allowed to return though, the Bastiladon and the other Hunting Pack, who can certainly do some big damage in the end game here. But the Von Carstein Lord going to be feasting on the Salamanders. Not too much they can do about this. So Crocscore in an isolated fight against the Terrorgeist aren't going to fight too well because it just does too much damage output. There's other units supporting though, they'd be certainly given the business. Curse of Midnight Wind attempting to aid them. The Kai of the Wanderer does have Primal Roar currently popped, and a big slam coming down on the Sternsman, doing some good damage, and he's now supported by the Star Chamber Guardians, which is going to give him Guardian, and he's managing to hunt down this poor little Necromancer who's certainly found himself in the wrong place, and oh my god, he has a severed torso on the back as a backpack. That is wild. I've never seen that before on the Necromancer. The Kai of the Wanderer is going to be jumping with joy into the Claw of Nagash. He looks so happy going to war. We have some Saurus Warriors here to help support as well. It looks like the Claw may be done for. The Miasma Despair lowering that speed, enabling the Nakai just to hunt it down with Primal Instinct there. Feral Codwans are going to be pulling back. Looks like the Skink Priest did get caught in the air by the Terrorgeist, and this is a big blow to the Lizardmen forces. Those Harmonic Convergences as well as the Curses are really helping out in the big fights. Beautiful Breath Attack coming down as well on the Bastiladon with the Solar Engine, but is desperately trying to get 1 or 2 more shots up. The Von Carstein Lord is currently sitting still. Big shot straight to the chest of that dragon. Saurus Warriors waiting, much like the Salamanders and Feral Codwans, to try and pounce upon the Von Carstein Lord on its descent. It looks like the Skink Priest has managed to survive and escape just about for now. Feral Codwan's going to be cleaning up some zombies, and Nakai once again hunting down the Claw. He's been hunting this Finn all game. I really hope he does manage to get it. He deserves it for his efforts. Swooping in, driving it back, lowering the leadership here to -20. Not a good day for them. The Star Chamber Guardians still going strong, despite the fact they got picked on rather early on. Have managed to rack up an impressive 191 kills and really drag down some of these troops, pinning in the corpse cart as well. The Kai continues to plod along. The Claw of Nagash is done for, though. He probably wants to turn around and focus on the corpse cart now. Although Bounce Power is very heavily at the moment in the Vampire Count favour. Feral Codwans have driven in, same are the Saurus Warriors, hoping to surround and beat down the remainder of the infantry. The Sternsmen, though, going to be a big problem. 62 models on these guys and counting. because they, of course, do regenerate. Source Warriors coming back, Nakai the Wanderer bouncing over to here to snap at the Von Carstein Lord if he doesn't get away from his precious Saurus Warriors. Looks like he does retreat. Unfortunately, the Solar Engine is going into the wastelands to wander merciless, because Nakai, he ain't done just yet. Slaughtering zombies, up to 47 kills. A happy bunny indeed. It looks like he's me marching his way over, though, to the Star Chamber Guardians. And I think that's his best bet to victory here, but also his best bet to try and win the weekly challenge and getting the most damage value on the Kai. Stack him inside these Temple Guard, beat down the Corpse Guard, beat down those Sternsmen, because he's going to have a rough time up against the Dragon. Although Might of Despair has slowed down the Dragon so it can't take off, and he's getting in those big fat rear hits. Nakai, Primal Roar active. Big melee attack coming in and whacking that dragon, doing some really nice work there. Looks like he's going to be bounding once more. Let's get a lovely approach as he does clobber his way through. Bones and rotting flesh going in all directions. He's now going to be hunting down that Corpse Card. A good target all round. Certainly needs to get off the field, and it looks like that's just what he is attempting to do. Star Chamber Guardians just about holding them firm. The Dragon coming in, though, as a rock to their health and leadership considerably. Down to just 20 models, and there's a lot of troops around here. The Sterns are going to be so fantastic at dragging them down. It looks like, for the most part, the Lizardmen forces are broken and running for their lives. Saurus Warriors just about stabilized a bit in the distance. Good micromanagement on this Terrorgeist. Force off the Saurus Warriors. You know you've got plenty more Shrieks and Breath attacks in the bank, so you can afford to play this a little bit slower. 18 Star Chamber Guns is all that remains, but they continue to hold the line. Nakai the Wanderer as well, beating down that Corpse Cart. This is what you get for messing with the King of the Jungle. That Corpse Cart down to just 200 hit points. It is going to go down in a puff of magical smoke and a small cry. Temple Guard, unfortunately, are done for. They are still applying Guardian to Nakai the Wanderer, however, which is pretty funny stuff. And it looks like that Terrorgeist is full health, meaning bad news for Nakai. Still plenty left to give, though. 3,600 health on this bad boy. I'm a little worried about him breaking, but he's done a good job beating down the Terrorgeist, and when his buffs are active, he certainly hits pretty damn hard. Where is the Vampire Lord? It looks like the Vampire Lord's still very healthy, just beating down the Saurus Warriors, driving them away from the battlefield. Good micro once more, just to try and force armor losses that little bit quicker. Nakai is such a big, tanky fella. I don't think I say this enough. The model of Nakai is fantastic. Look at him towering over the Terrorgeist, a full body higher than the Graveguard, putting up a good display here and going out with a battle cry. I don't think there's much hope for the Lizardmen forces unless Nakai can beat down the might of these two large single entity monsters. But if we take a little look, his health not going too good. Primal Roar is active, though. That physical resistance is going to be really nice alongside the melee attack. And maybe, just maybe, he can claw this one out. Balance Power says not. The big slaps come in. Von Carstein Lord, though, pops an upgrade invocation. The heck going to be healing up himself and the Terrorgeist. And poor Nakai is tear-outed from the field. What an insane game. Really interesting build coming in from Captain Morgan there. I like the Salamanders. I'm interested to see how much damage value he got on those guys. But today was all about Nakai and how much damage value he could get. And I gotta tell you guys, we had so many good efforts here. We had Zero coming in, holding the lead for a long time with Nakai, with huge damage value. Taco coming in with good damage value, a lot of the guys. And then Cap Morgan out of nowhere. 5,571 damage value. Absolutely wild. 22k damage dealt. An impressive 59 kills, and with his buffs booked, he can certainly go toe-to-toe with some of those big uns. Good play as well by the Skink Priest. Yes, he didn't get much value and all that kind of stuff, but those harmonic convergences and the Curse of the Midnight Wind were absolutely vital. Source Warriors are doing relatively solid across the front line. The Star Chamber Guardians holding the tide back for their master Nakai. 2,114 damage value, 21k damage dealt, 247 kills. Very impressive display from those bad boys. Plus the Guardian, of course, does help support Nakai. Feral Cold Ones did really struggle. I mean, their job's not to get value here. They kind of tried to pin back the enemy and allow the Salamanders to get in some work, and they certainly did. Nearly 2,000 damage value on this unit, 1,000 on the other. The problem is, up against the Vampire counts, if you don't kill the big dragon's going to heal and come back and kill you, and that's kind of what happened here. Take Rock score certainly didn't pay for themselves. A nice pick, though. I do quite like them in this matchup because of that magic damage. Coming in here with only 506 damage value, 137 kills, though, protecting those salamanders a little while longer. Surprised the solar engine got as much work in as it did. 1,196, certainly not too shabby. I suppose it kept coming back and kept applying that pressure, slowly raking up those numbers. Well played to Fisk Gray, though, and his mighty victory. The Von Carstein Vampire Lord, 85 kills, 2k damage value. I think he still had maybe one breath attack left in him. Good use as well of using him to isolate weakened troops like the Star Chamber Guardians where they were on their own. Necromancer, of course, is coming in as a bit of a battery here, and the zombies across the front line that we're not expecting much, although one of them getting 7 kills. Not bad for some zombies. Skeleton Spearman, 909 damage value here, very impressive stuff. The others faring far worse. The Sternsman, such a powerful force in the end game there, 935 damage value, plenty of healing left in the tank as well. Good use with the Feldbats and the Vargeist just to hunt down the enemy. Vargeist, 700 damage value, pretty good there. And the Terrorgeist up in the sky, 2.8k damage value. 39 kills, but really did help carry the squad, put pressure on the back lines, isolate some of the big targets, and in the end game had a little bit of room left for healing as well. 11,000 damage dealt there. Poor little Corpse Cart did get dragged down by the might of Nakai, and the Claw of Nagash did not have a good day. Still got an impressive 725 damage value, not bad considering it's been hunted by the apex predator of the jungle all game, but still bad day for him because of the presence of Nakai. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do want to see more glorious action like this, feel free to subscribe, give a big old thumbs up and all that good stuff. Down below in the description is a link to my Discord where you can take part in these weekly events as well as all that good stuff. There's also a link to Patreon down there. But guys, hope you enjoyed. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.